The polar vortex has become quite a popular term over the last few years, ever since it brought significant cold across parts of North America during the winter of 2014. Now, it may be a new addition to your vocabulary, but it's actually not something new at all. It's a persistent feature that we see up and towards the north and south poles, where it's basically a swirling area of low pressure that contains some of the coldest temperatures on our planet. Now, during each season, it can kind of vary within strength, but during a strong polar vortex, we see the coldest air locked up and towards the north because it's contained within a single vortice. But during a weaker polar vortex, the temperature contrast between the North Pole and areas further south isn't as impressive, so we get a more meandering and weaker jet stream, and portions of the polar vortex begin to break off, and we get these multiple vortices swirling around, and occasionally they can dip further south. So it's actually quite interesting that when we get a weaker polar vortex, that's a very big signal for significant cold shots of air across parts of North America.
It's about to get North Pole cold. A polar vortex is expected to bring bone-chilling temperatures to Edmonton this weekend. Edmonton is expected to see highs hovering around -25 and overnight lows of -35. The deep freeze is expected to last for at least 10 days.
Well, hello everybody out there in YouTube land. I hope you're having a great day wherever you're watching this video on planet Earth. As you probably guessed from the introductions, we're very much under the effects of the polar vortex in this area. So what does that mean? It means that all that cold polar air from the North Pole slowly starts to migrate across the more temperate regions of North America, causing these areas to plummet into Arctic-like conditions for a period of time. So what do the people in this area do when the polar vortex rolls in? Well, a lot of people that are fortunate to be able to stay indoors do that, so that way they're protected from the cold, harsh temperatures. For the people who do have to venture outdoors for one reason or another, the way they protect themselves is by dressing adequately enough to be able to protect themselves from hypothermia as well as frostbite. Well, by now you're probably wondering, what is the purpose of this video? Well, I thought, being that the polar vortex is here, this would give a very, very interesting opportunity to check the endurance of the Outlander in these conditions, just to see how well we can maintain a comfortable living space within the van during these very, very subarctic conditions. A little disclaimer before we start. We're going to be experiencing very harsh winter conditions here. For people who are not experienced with this type of environment, these conditions can cause bodily injury and or death if you're not careful. I've had a lot of hands-on experience working in Canadian subarctic conditions, so I fully understand all the risks involved. Also, this experiment is not being conducted out in the middle of nowhere. It's being done under controlled conditions within reach of resources, if needed, because of the cold temperatures. So the experiment begins by preheating the van by running the diesel heater at full blast for approximately 45 minutes. This allowed the temperature of the van to reach a comfortable living space temperature like in the interior of a house. Once I reached this temperature, I turned down the setting of the diesel heater to approximately half power. I also commenced recording temperatures, interior, exterior, as well as the time, noting what time those temperatures were recorded at.